Hey everybody, welcome to the weekend. Hope you all are relaxing and enjoying yourself. I've got one button down, taking it easy today. We are on video number 3 of our 3-part series for first-time home buyers. So today I wanted to talk about the appraisal process and how that works within your deal. So first of all, if you're paying for your house cash, you're not getting a mortgage, then the appraisal doesn't really matter. You're not required to get an appraisal. It's not going to dictate whether or not the deal happens. You can still get one, but it's not going to, if the house appraises lower than what you went under contract for, it doesn't matter at that point. But if you're getting a mortgage, you are required to get an appraisal. So typically what happens, the mortgage lender is going to wait until after the inspection period is finished and everybody knows that we're moving forward still. Then at that point, the lender is going to hire an appraiser to come out on your behalf. You're going to pay for it still, but they're the ones that are going to hire them out so that there is no bias with who's going out to take a look at the house, a completely neutral third party. So the appraiser will come out, take a look at the house, because the lender wants to make sure that they're not going to be overpaying. They're not going to be lending out more than what the house is worth. So they want to make sure that that is all free and clear there, that that looks good. So what happens at that point? The appraiser comes out, they take a look, they see what the value is. It usually takes a couple of days to get the report back to the lender, and then they get the report. If the house appraises, if we are under contract for $250,000 and the house appraises at $255,000, then we're good. We're moving forward. Now, what happens if the house does not appraise? So let's take a look at that. Say the house is under contract for $250,000 and the appraiser gives a report back at $245,000. So the lender is only going to finance based off of $245,000. So there is a gap of $5,000 now that needs to be come up with, either on the seller's end or the buyer's end or both. So typically what would happen a lot of times is the seller and the buyer will agree to come in the middle. Something that small is pretty easy to fix. You're only $5,000 off. A lot of times the buyer will come up with an additional $2,500. The seller will bring the price down $2,500 and then we can move on. There's other times where that gap might be a little larger. It might be a $10,000 gap and the seller is not willing to come down at all. At that point, the buyer is going to either, one, have to come up with an additional $10,000. If they can't do that, then the loan can't go through, and at that point, the deal could be off. You would get your deposit back at that point, though, but it's unfortunate to get that far into the deal for it to fall apart there. The other option would be, of course, that the seller would be willing to bring the price down to the appraised value. So there are a few different options when the house does not appraise. It's a case-by-case basis, so make sure again that you are talking to your agent, that they are educating you through that whole process. Again, making sure that the listing agent knows the market so that they're not pricing the house too high so that there are issues like this. So always make sure that you're talking with a knowledgeable real estate agent. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to reach out to us, Nick at First Partners Realty. Have a great weekend, everybody. Talk to you soon.